how to get legendary weapons and armor in Palworld at basically any level. Go to Sanctuaries 1, 2, and 3 and open up chests. Handgun schematic level 4. I've been looking for that. These chests require no keys and every color is good. Purple, gold, red. I think they all can give you insane loot. In fact, purple gives me the best loot most of the time, and there's plenty of them all scattered throughout these entire sanctuaries. I'll go ahead and show you where you like the pathing you want to do to find them, but they're legit hidden in every crevasse you could possibly imagine. There's apparently a map showing every chest spawn location. So Sanctuary 1 looks like this. You have chests all over the place, and I'll give you an in-game example here in a moment, but just try and keep this in mind or use it for reference later. Now Sanctuary 2 looks like this. A chest can spawn on those small little rocks on the outskirts, like in the front of the thing. I didn't know they could spawn there, and that chest blew my mind. And now Sanctuary spawn, wow. Sanctuary 3 looks like this. Again, chests and locations I haven't gotten yet. Lit. That being understood, the way that every biome works, at least for the chests on the inside, there's 3 chests on the bottom floor. I guess, ground floor right here. Then there's 2 chests that spawn on this floor right here, and 1 chest that spawns at the very top. Then, at Sanctuaries 2 and 3, there's like 1 chest on the outskirts on these rocks. And at every sanctuary, you'll have chests that spawn on these outer, like, beams that fell or something like that. And there's chests that spawn on this structure somehow, some way. The loot boxes that spawn in and around the sanctuary take forever to respawn. You could cheat and change your in-game settings to make your daytime and nighttime speeds faster, and I think that affects a chest. So in the meantime, go ahead and head on over to Icy Wheasel Hill. At these coordinates, left of Icy Wheasel is a tall tower that has 4 chests that range from purple, gold, and red. The way that chest work is, purple is kind of like whatever, gold can have keys, and in this entire area, the green and the white, the frost area, these keys can be gold. Gold keys open up red chests, and in this area, red chests can have really good loot. But it's not that consistent. So these chests on this tower and all around this area, in every nook and granny, you'll use these keys to try and get good loot early on. Once you get like around 40, 45, or like in-game 50, do the dungeons in this green area, because there are white dungeons, white trees, white entrance, with a green contrast. Very easy to find. Also level 45, and in the dungeons, try and go through it as fast as you can. There are chests you can open in like the middle of the dungeon and like throughout the dungeon. They're not that good, but the end of the dungeon has these purple and gold chests that don't follow the standard rules and are more like sanctuary chests. They can give you things like +2 undershirt. It's RNG though at the end of the day. Now, what else was I gonna say? If you don't plan on memorizing or cross-referencing the chest spawn locations, just go ahead and go into the frost biome area, the frost part of this continent, and they're much easier to spot by a landslide. But it's a lot colder, and during the nighttime, you'll have to have even more cold resistance to the weather, otherwise you die. The loot I got from Sanctuaries 1, 2, and 3 on 2 rotations, so opening up chests twice on those islands. Then the loot I got from multiple chests in Icy Wheasel Hill, the 4 chests at top, and a couple of random ones. And finally, like I think 2 or 3 dungeon runs in the level 45 dungeons near Icy Wheasel Hill, basically that entire area. It's pretty good. Like, I got a freaking handgun I've been grinding beacon for eons. Crazy. They're kind of hard to see sometimes. When you're looting these chests, make sure your inventory isn't full. That would probably help. The question everyone and the grandma asks is, how do I use these schematics? The answer, bring the schematic in your inventory to the corresponding workbench at minimum. So OhDough primitive workbench. I look at it, I can make it. Lit. You go to maybe the heat resistant metal armor, requires a high quality workbench. We got that. We got that. Then you have the handgun, requires a weapon workbench. Same thing, we can craft it. Next up, pump action shoddy. We have a weapon assembly line. So a bit later in the game. We can make it. Holy, it's getting expensive though. And finally, last example, rocket launcher schematic 4. Requires a weapon assembly line level 2. And if I can just get there eventually, we can make it. But we'll be broke, because these are so expensive. I'll probably make a video covering all the expenses once I unlock every single schematic. I'm close. I'm like off by 2, I think, that I'm aware of. I hope they make like a single fire, a single shot legendary, and I want to get a legendary poison bow or fire bow. Those are really fun to use. I hope we get stronger versions of that for late game or something different, and new weapons in the future. That's like the very forward thinking. When I say these chests have rat spots, I freaking mean it. I've never seen one spawn in this location. Handgun schematic level 4. Handgun schematic 2. I've gotten like every handgun schematic. Handgun 1, handgun 2, handgun 3. It's just been one run. I just got here. Who put these chests in these locations? You put your Apex player? What's your rank in Apex? Pred? You a zone crafter, bro? I know your kind. You probably play Lifeline in the zone, crafting med kits all game, every game. Ace. If the devs allow it, the devs allow it, okay? But dude, what is this about? I've been looking on these things. I never did see a chest, and now I found a Man, this game is crazy. I think it has a gambling aspect, but it's not gambling with your money, it's with your time. And honestly, it keeps me engaged. If I was just starting Palworld and I wanted to go to Sanctuary 1, I'd probably capture a serpent, which I cannot seem to find. I have a hard time in this menu. Melt it. This thing right here, located really close to starting area. This is like the closest spot right there. Then make a serpent saddle, and that makes it to where you don't lose stamina when going over water on the mount, and you can make it there safely. Or I'd capture... Oh gosh. I should just have these like somewhere else to look at. What do they call, like the hang glider guys? The things that you use a glove for, the hawk dude, and then the Kilmari. So Kilmari, preferably though, if you could, the hawk guy. I think they're later on though. Kilmari spawns at night. What? Can you only make Kilmari? Have I not caught... What the... Where... I don't know where that spawned. But if you get a Kilmari, then you can do some tech and make it to the island that way instead. I believe it works a lot better with the Gale Claw, and you could possibly use a glider and then a grapple gun, which I don't know when you unlock those. This thing is tweaking, making me lose my mind. So Kilmari's at level 9. Serpent saddle right there. Handgun or grapple guns at level 12, and the glider you can make should be early. Yeah, right here. Level 5. The glider would be sketchy though, because stamina would be a problem. Icy Weasel Heal is good for chests, but the main thing is that tower that has a 4 chest that guarantees spawn on a very long cooldown. I think aside from that, you could try for red chests that have that require the gold key and can give you good loot. But I believe you're better off farming dungeons when you don't have the chests on the sanctuaries, and it's like your best bet to try and farm quickly. Also, you can farm these little black marketeers, the Facebook PAL marketplace enjoyers, and they drop gold keys guaranteed every time. And there's one you can farm over and over again, which I covered in a previous video, who's like right side of the map near Eastern Wild Island. Because I'm trying to find these red chests, and they're here somewhere. I just can't. I just got a rocket launcher schematic from a purple chest. I'm confused.